Hello, welcome to another draft preview video here on the Blue Abroad YouTube channel. So the state of play as it looks right now is we've already covered Harry Dean, we've already covered Jack Ison. These are the kids that are already linked to Carlton. One's a father-son, one's an academy player. And the club has actually made this official already. So that's that. Now, what I want to do next is, over the course of the next couple of weeks, just look at a few other players who could be of interest. There are so many scenarios that are at play with what could happen with Carlton come draft night. We have seen scenarios where a bid on Harry Dean comes really early and pushes that second first round pick that we've got all the way out to the 20s, mid-20s, late 20s. We've seen scenarios where a bid comes a little bit later, even as early as pick 6, and that second pick for Carlton pushes out to the late teens. Then there's also a scenario where there's no bid and we just keep the 2 picks that we've got and we end up getting Harry Dean and another player before recruiting Jack Ison. So in the spirit of that, I wanted to look at a few players who have really been players that you have mentioned in the comments, and also players that I've watched highlights of and done some research on, and based on what I'm watching and based on what I'm reading, something ticks in my instinct that tells me that would be a good player for us. But I mean, Josh Lindsay is a really clear one because there's no shock to anybody here. He has been touted as one of the best kicks, if not the best kick in the draft. Left footer. I watched 5 minutes of his highlights and I was sold. So in this video, I just want to go through Josh Lindsay, put a bit of a profile together, get some of the best bits that I found on the internet about him, and then get your thoughts about him in the comments below. So who's Josh Lindsay? We are talking about a young man born on the 7th of April, 2007. He's 183 centimetres. He's a Geelong Falcons lad, has represented Vic country, and really he's been on the radar for a while. He's the smart user off halfback who can step into the midfield at times and provide influence at stoppage. And really there's a few things that make him dangerous. The first, his balance. You look at these highlights here. The way he moves through traffic, it just looks effortless. He's got clean hands, whether it's on the ground or in the air. His vision, you see here, you can see him think before he makes a decision. He seems to have a little bit more time to assess the options, and you just look at the end product of some of his work and you think, wow, what a smart play. And I find myself saying that a lot when I watch his highlights. And then his score involvement rate. I wouldn't say he's an accumulator per se, although we can win a lot of the ball if he wants, but he just uses it so well. And that's been the common theme all the way throughout his 2025 campaign and even 2024 campaign. So his transition speed becomes a real weapon here. And these are Carlton Football Club needs. When I hear transition, IQ, balance, clean hands, vision, performing in big games against the best players in his age group. These are just traits that I think Carlton need, particularly off halfback. Now, I want to go back. Let's go to 2024. This is when he is an underage prospect. Now, he played on the MCG on grand final day for Team Heppel. He finished this game with 20 disposals in a 7-point win, and he was actually named best of field. So this particular day, it capped off a really impressive showing for Vic country. So this is why I think he is a prospect that's just been on the radar for so long, because he's already stood out as a bottom age player. Fast forward to 2025. There are a few moments throughout the year which I think are important to note. And first is when he was named best on ground for the AFL Academy against Coburg. So obviously playing against much more senior bodies. And look, the same traits on display here. His ability to rebound, his ability to not waste a kick as he explodes out of defense, the way he changes angles, his creativity, his ball handling, just his ability to read the ball, intercept, or shark the ball out of hands. He's just constantly in motion, and his foot skills make him so tough to stop. And in this particular game, he had 20 uncontested possessions. And again, tying it back to Carlton, there is just so much of a focus on contested football that we lack players on the outside who can distribute. That's why I'm really excited by the prospect of Josh Lindsay. And this was him actually talking about his experience on this particular day.
In terms of kicking off, you made a pretty good start. I mean, you were best on ground in that AFL Academy game against Coburg. What did that experience teach you, playing against some senior listed boys in the VFL?
Yeah, no, that was really good. It was my first time playing against senior boys, so no, I really enjoyed it. It was sort of similar to Vic Country. Yeah, we were a super tight group. All sort of come together, and playing with the best boys around Australia is something you always dream of. So, no, I loved it so much, and yeah, sort of looking how the other boys prepare and all the coaching staff around the program was really good. So yeah, to finish off the games, winning the best on ground medal was pretty special as well. So, yeah, couldn't be more thankful.
There's another interesting part here in the same interview on Gettable where he's talking about his traits, his kicking. So take a look at this.
So many of those highlights are you with the ball using that left foot.
Yeah.
How much work's gone into your kicking, and has it always been a strength of yours?
Yeah, it's probably always been my main strength of mine. Sort of identified that that is my main strength, and sort of want to use it as best as possible. So, yeah, I love kicking the ball and sort of taking the meters gain and always taking the attacking option on. So, yeah, that's probably my main strength, yeah.
Who's the AFL players that you look at who do the similar thing like that in terms of use their kicking as such a weapon out of halfback and through the midfield?
Yeah, probably definitely Errol Goulden and Hayden Young. Yeah, the way they use the ball and their decision making is pretty unreal. So, sort of love watching both of them go at it, and yeah, really enjoy that.
Now, as we get towards the back end of the year, you know, people's mock drafts come out, their rankings come out, and I think as you get closer and closer to the draft, things start changing. But I actually want to take you back to the 30th of June. This is Pommy. And this is what he had to say about Josh Lindsay back in June.
Josh Lindsay at 4. I think if I was an AFL recruiter, this guy would be my number one pick, who is free. The reason why? His ball use, he is the modern day transitional threat. He hits targets fun. He hits the hard areas. It's the dangerous kicking. This guy out in space is dangerous. He is a surgeon with the ball at foot. Josh Lindsay, love the guy.
It's pretty big raps. And this was before a lot of the hot draft noise right before the draft comes in. I've seen rhetoric that he could be a top 5 pick. I've seen rhetoric that he could slide to 15, between 15 and 20. And the reason for that is there isn't so much confidence that this guy is going to eventually become a midfielder. Now, again, see, to me, I hear that for Carlton and I say tick. Not after another midfielder. Definitely after someone off halfback who can use the ball at an elite clip and also do exactly what he does. So if he's not to become a midfielder, if he's a specialist distributor off halfback, happy days. So from what I've seen and from what I've read and from what I've been told, no. I'd love to have a Josh Lindsay paired up with a Harry Dean. I think that's best case scenario for Carlton. However, I do sense that it's a bit of a pipe dream. I don't know if Josh Lindsay is going to be available to Carlton with that second pick wherever it may land. I am going to hazard a guess that there will be a bid on Harry Dean and another club will force Carlton to pay up, which they're in their rights to do that. We're hoping it's not one of those early picks from West Coast, but I am expecting that there will be a bid made. So I think if Carlton's second pick can stay in that 14 to 17 range, maybe we're a chance. Maybe we're a chance to get Josh Lindsay and pair him up with Harry Dean, Jack Ison, and maybe even one more. But we'll see. So from what you're seeing in these highlights and from what you're reading, let me know what you think about Josh Lindsay as a prospect in the comments below. We'll chat about it there.